Everything in me feels alive, and 2, 3, 4. You're so beautiful, beautiful. Hey, listen, baby. Who would have known it? To have a girl who can seduce me with the rice. I like the way she talks. Hey, oh yeah, I like it. I wanted to know that you're just the one for me, to take control of my curiosity. Look at those curves on those thighs, makes my temperature rise. I'm sold, and I just wanted to know. Oh, you're so. When I look at you, I'm so thankful, and I like it. I love you, baby. You are so beautiful. Everything I need in
my solitude. My nature's weak, what can I do? Just when I seem to have control, just let it go when you're in love. It's a woman's world, and I like it, yes I like it when you're in love. It's a woman's world, and I like it, yes I like it. And when your emotions run wild and you're nothing to say, on your face there's a smile which will always remain. You just watch yourself fall deeper each day, 'cause in this world you know we're all the same. There's something about this love makes my body come alive, and there's nothing I can do 'cause I like it, yeah. When I have you all alone, it feels so good, and there's nothing I can do. I like it, yeah. If I could, I would not help myself. Can't explain the joy to no one else. But when a woman claims you as her own, then you know you are in love. It's a woman's world, and I like it, yes I like it when you're in love. It's a woman's world, and I like it, yes I like it. You just watch yourself fall deeper each day, 'cause in this world you know we're all the same, yeah. And there's nothing I can do. It's a woman's world,
Come fly. Red moon rising in the blue midnight sky. Me in my shadow, moving on in the night. Red moon rising leads me back to the place I first held you, when I saw the light in your eyes. Silhouette fades to gray. Beyond the horizon is the dawn, a new day. I've heard about heaven, and I guess it must be a feeling I get when your love shines on me. Not so long ago, love was just a dream, until one summer night when I saw the light in your eyes. Once upon a time, love was just a dream, until one summer night when I saw the light in your eyes. In your eyes, red moon rising, red moon rising.
In the morning, greet the day, watching the sun come up. Autumn leaves, they are falling on the breath of wind that flows along the sandy dunes. Flying kites in Berkeley at the water's edge. Across the bay, in our little boat we watch the sails unfurl. Set a course, we're on our way.
across the bay. In our little boat we watch the sails unfurl. Set a course, we're on our way. Ocean breeze in the evening. Setting sun, the glow is fading fast. Fast asleep near the window. Feel that breeze into our dreams and take us far from here.
Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It is now time for the Indie Live Spot right here on your station GHP Radio, your independent music source. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, and glad you can join us this week. We are back for another great show. And on tap, we also have a music guest, which we're excited about having on the show. And his name is Rob Zen. He's in the house with us, and we're going to be talking with him and actually playing some music from his latest Walk the Walk. So you guys definitely hang tight. Now let me give you a rundown on some of the music that you just got through hearing from the top of the show. In fact, you just got through hearing Coast to Coast by Mr. Gary Palmer featuring Paul Brown. Before that, you heard the sounds of let's see, let me get my made up just right so I can get everything here. Okay, yeah, and so before you heard Coast to Coast by Gary Palmer featuring Paul Brown, you heard the sounds of Joel Del Rosario and Sure Will featuring Tony Exum Jr. It was called Cali Soul. Before that, you heard the sounds of Mark Wade Trio with Moving Day, Going Out by Mr. Julian Vaughn, and starting to set off, we had Wondering featuring Thea Renee by Mr. Preston Smith. And so Grizz is with me and help us
yes.
Yeah, help me welcome our guest, Mr. Rob Zen. Welcome to the
yes.
show.
Well, thank you for having me on. How y'all doing today? How's everyone doing today?
Doing great, man. Happy to have you on the show. Been looking forward to talking with you, man. Your new CD is just great. Of course, your last CD was awesome as well.
Oh yes, absolutely.
And, we've really been enjoying, playing your music over here on our platform. So, but congratulations on another great one.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I really appreciate you guys playing my music and sharing my music with all your listening audience is really important. Thanks for getting it out there. I appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Now, the title of this particular CD, of course, it says Walk the Walk. Great, like I said, great compilation of some great music. And why don't you tell us a little bit about your introduction of this wonderful CD?
Yeah, it's funny. The first album I did in Delaware, and great studio, great producer, and all that stuff. And I really felt that for the second one, I wanted to pull out all stops and try to go as high up as I possibly could. So Andrew New was a friend of mine, in addition to being an amazing performer and sax player. Like, I've known him for quite a few number of years, even before his career took off. Yeah. So we were chatting. He's like, you might want to consider maybe a different producer, someone who's really used to producing this kind of music. So I talked to several guys in the industry and decided that Paul was probably the proper one for me. And I think Paul's great. He's so connected. He just has a feel for how to create the right vibe and the groove. So I flew out to California and over a week each time with some months in between, and cut the album. So some of it is songs that I co-wrote with Paul, and some of the things that I got from amazing songwriters like Jeff Carruthers and Lou Lang Jr., if you guys probably know who they are, and Roberto Valli and cats like that. So it really came together. And Paul, Paul's a master. He just knows how to get the right sound. The sound is warm. I mean, some of that's created in the studio. It's kind of old school. He's got this amazing analog board that he runs things through. Yeah. And we went in the studio for 2 days, and the rest we kind of cut in Paul's studio. Mm-hmm. It was a lot of fun. So it's kind of like the title of the album. I was going to call it Journey of the Heart because this album was kind of a personal journey for me from my heart, and I really wanted to lay it all out there. But in talking with him, and it's always a challenge. Like, what do we call this song? Because there's no lyrics, and it's always like, well, what do we feel, or maybe there's a syncopated line in there that kind of sounds like words. But so I wanted to call it Journey of the Heart. But as we got closer, the original name of Walk the Walk was something else, and I said was Get On Up, and he's like, nah, it's too James Brown. So we kicked back and forth. Get on up, come on. I'm like, all right. So. So somehow Paul came up with, how about Walk the Walk? And I was like, yeah, it's kind of bold statement. So we decided to name the whole thing Walk the Walk. I don't know. I'm not vain in any way. I'm actually really humble and laid back person, but I mean, it is a statement. It's like walk the walk. Here I am. Here's Rob's in. I'm going to walk the walk, and hopefully you like it. I'm here to stay. So we named the first single "Walk the Walk," and that's kind of how it all came about. And the Gorovs loved it, and Paul loved it, and so there we are. Walk the walk.
All right.
Have you seen the video? You guys tell me you got to see the. Have you seen the video? You got to see the video.
I haven't seen the video yet. No, not
I'm
yet.
walking down Beverly Hills Boulevard with all the palm trees, and we filmed it in the studio and introduced all the guys in the studio. You got to check it out.
I will.
And it's real. I'm shopping for clothes, and we just had such a fun time making it. But I'm walking down, Beverly Hills Drive, I guess, and it was really, people are looking at me like, oh, who is that? We had so much fun. It was cool.
That sounds like a lot of fun. Like a whole lot of fun. My goodness. Yeah, we'll definitely have to get that video out so we can check that out. So, yeah. Now, Robert, I'm actually interested also in your background as far as that goes. Is like, when you were coming up, I mean, I know you've probably been involved with the music for quite some time, but how far does it go back? I mean, for you?
Gary, my path, I think today, and you probably correct me because you guys talk to more people, but my path to where I'm at today is probably substantially different than many other artists. And what I mean by that is I always had a passion for music in high school, and it came easy for me to excel. I was first, I was All-State 5 times and first chair and this, that, and the other thing, especially in jazz idioms. Yeah. But my father was very pragmatic, and he's like, how are you going to support yourself in music? So I did not go for a music degree or a performance degree. I studied accounting and languages. Okay. And I went to school for 7 years and got 2 undergraduate degrees and got into computer consulting, and that's what I've done for like 30 years or whatever. I'm an information technologist. Uh-huh. And a few years ago, I played in blues bands, and I never wrote music. I'm not even that well educated on the process of writing music. I had to learn a lot. Mm-hmm. But so I played in blues bands and funk bands and wedding bands and big bands and all these different things, quite extensively, and made some money at it, but never really scratched anything to what I'm doing today. And I decided about 3 or so years ago that I would feel unfulfilled as a human being if I didn't at least try. I was kind of blessed with some natural abilities, and things came really easy to me in music, but I didn't have that technical background. When people go, oh, that's a augmented chord sharp 9, I'm like, I don't know what that is. Right. So I had to learn a lot, and it was really humbling, and I felt really inferior sometimes. So I put a lot of time in the past several years trying to understand chord structures, and so I could talk the same and not just nod my head and feel embarrassed. So and I started writing for the first time. I'd never written anything, and I always felt that I could do it. I did a lot of listening to Rick and Boney and Huge Groove and all these guys, and not to take anything away from any of them because they're amazing. But I said to myself, I think I can do this. I think I can do this, and so I started writing, and and I was kind of surprised. I had to be educated because I wrote the wrong chords down, and I would play it on piano for them, and they're like, well, that's actually an F minor, not a and I had to learn. Yeah. So, and I've gotten better at that, and I don't feel so self-conscious about it now, and I still have a regular job during the day, but, I'm fully committed to trying to take this contemporary jazz path as far as it'll go. No matter where it ends up, I will be happy that I've tried, and to whatever degree of success I achieve, I feel like I'm already successful because I've got 2 albums out there, and I was tired. I was telling people like, oh, I'm going to do an album, I'm going to do it. Well, I finally did it, and then it's out there. I did the best I could, and then I got Paul for the second and did the best I could. I'm very proud of both of these achievements, and it's up to the world to decide if they like it, me as a player, me as a composer, or my music. And I've done everything I can, and people will decide if they like it or don't like it. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to perform because I need to have my ego stroked. That's not at all what this is about. And maybe some people feel that way. I certainly don't. But to me, and this is very cliche, but I really mean it, when you stand up on stage and you're playing music, and especially if it's something you wrote, and you're connecting with an audience, and you probably know this, Gary, but there's almost no better feeling in the world. It's just so hard to describe when people go, oh, I love this song, or where did that come from, or I love what you played here, and it's like, well, I created that, and it's a wonderful feeling that people enjoy what it is you're offering, and wow, I feel very blessed that no matter what happens right now in this part of my life, that I've at least tried. And, you know, hopefully it'll continue. I mean, I'm going after it aggressively, and, you know,
right.
I appreciate having people like you guys, you know, taking my music to the airwaves. It's hugely important. It's a relationship that I've learned about, like, and I don't mind to put words in your mouth, but it's almost like we need, certainly I need you, we need you as indie artists, but I guess maybe you guys need us to a degree, you know. If any new music comes along and it's, you know, whatever the hot player is or the hot song or whatever, you know, you want to take them to the airwaves for your listeners. And I never realized that years ago. I always thought, like, I got to beg to have my music played, and I've learned that's really not quite the case, that we both really need each other. But I will always say how appreciative I am of all the stuff that you and people like you do, bringing my music to the airwaves. And I know many of my indie counterparts feel the exact same way. Preston, I'm buddies with Preston, you know. Gary Palmer, you know, Christian DeMassonis, Carol Albert, you know, we're all trying to do the same type of thing. And it doesn't matter how great you are as a musician or how great a player you are. If your music's not played, then your audience of one. It's just you guys, thank you very much.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Oh, and just as an FYI, the chat room, like with Gia, Henry, Robert, or Bobby, and Ellen, or, you know, AKA Jam, they say hello.
Hey, everyone. You'll have to type that back, I guess. I don't know. Well, I guess they can hear me. They can hear me.
Yeah, they can hear you.
Oh, hi, everyone.
Yeah, definitely, man. I can definitely relate to everything you just said. I mean, it's just, you know, it's very great. It's great to for people to really appreciate what you do. You put your time,
heart and soul in it.
Yeah, and your love in it too. You know, as well.
Absolutely.
So that's wonderful. That's wonderful, man. And and so like I was shocked when you did say this was your second CD, because it feels like you've been doing like several
for a
CDs,
long time.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
That old fat at it. You know, it's like, okay, it's just my next CD. But it doesn't sound like it's like your, you know, your second album, your second release, you know, that you've done. It sounds like it's more like your 5 or 6, you know.
Like a legend.
Well, thanks. I'm sure that a lot of that has to do with Paul. I mean, I'm not a young guy anymore. I mean, I've definitely been doing a lot of playing over the years. But when you bring in someone like a Paul Brown, who really, you know, who really understands how to create a certain sound, and I wanted that sound. You know, I almost like it more of a West Coast sound. East Coast has a certain sound, and a West Coast has a certain sound, and there's subtle differences and all that. I wanted that. I wanted that radio friendly stuff. I wanted that groove and that vibe that Paul's always a master at it, you know. But like you said, you know, there's R&B is on the album. There's blues, you know. This beautiful song that Roberto Valli, you know, co-wrote, you know, Blue Night, you know. It's just got a feel, and I really tried hard to emote. And Paul and I go back and forth. We had so much fun, you know, just kind of building off of each other. And he's such a pro. Yeah. And, you know, now keep in mind, we're doing that in his studio, so it's a very sterile environment. And you just close your eyes and you just listen. You just got to be in the moment and just, you know, react to what Paul's doing. And it's, you know, creating, you know, organically right on the spot. I mean, I don't know, because people have asked me this question. Gary, you know, and any musician will know this, especially jazz music or blues, you know. It's like, well, how do you know what you're going to play? And it's a great question. And it's, you know, if you really think about it, it's like, you don't know what you're going to play. At that precise moment, you create something that you probably will never create again. It really is very unusual, especially live performances. You know, we have our go-to licks and stuff that we all have, but, you know, in that moment, with what's happening right at that moment in time, with the respect of the band and the audience, you're creating something on the fly that may never happen again, and that's really cool.
It is cool.
Hopefully, it's a good thing, and not you know, sometimes they're not always, you know, perfect, but you know.
But for the most part, it's always great.
Right. And you said the Blue Night track that Roberto Valli co-wrote that?
Yeah, he did. Him and Jeff Carruthers. And Paul had some say in that one as well. So the three of them wrote it.
And does Roberto play on the CD? Does he play on that track?
He does.
Okay.
You probably, hopefully, you guys know of Roberto Valley. I'm sure.
Yeah, I know who he is. Yeah, we're connected.
For the listening audience, Roberto, like when I first went out there. Now I'm this guy from Delaware. Trying my hand at my second album. So I fly out to California, and I'm working with Paul Brown, Mr. Grammy, double Grammy winner, who's produced everyone. Right. Everyone. And the stories about, it's just from Luther to George Benson to Al Jarreau to Hughes Groove to Boney to Kirk Whalum to Gary, and just, Jasmine, like the list is like huge, and I'm in there, and now I'm part of that list, and it was very intimidating. So we go in the studio, and I'm working with like guys who have played with everyone and have hundreds of albums under them, and I was so nervous. And then we had some technical glitches, and it was really the first time the very first day I went in the studio, I was so intimidated, and it was really challenging for me. But those guys were amazing pros, and they just laid it down. It's just, I can't even explain how they just created the chemistry between those guys. Gordon Campbell on drums, like just a masterful drummer. Roberto Valley on bass, his resume is huge. Yeah. And Marco Basci, Grammy-nominated keyboard player. And, of course, Paul himself, and it was just magic. I wanted to just sit and watch, but I was in another room.
You're just like, oh yeah, play too.
It was really kind of freaked me out that first time. Now, when I went back in November, like, hey man, how's it going, bro? I felt real comfortable with these guys, and there's no egos. They're like such genuine people, and like, Rob, we want to give you what you want. We want to make. Are you happy with it? Roberto's asking me like, do you like what I'm playing? I'm like, are you serious, man? This is incredible.
Yes.
I'm like, do your thing, Roberto. I love, I couldn't envision another bass line. He played exactly how I would have wanted it to be played. I was so blown away. And Mark, it was beautiful. And, I'm so happy with, there's so many, this, Gary, there's so many different ways to add things down. You want to have space, but you want to establish, a pattern and a groove and all that. And, they didn't step on each other. Those guys are so good at playing together. And Gordon just laid in the pocket, and nothing fancy, just laid it down. It was really, really a pleasure to just, it's just so good, and so fun.
That's so cool, man. Yeah,
makes my job easy. Just drop my stuff right on top. It's all there.
Right. Right.
Great.
Absolutely.
And with Roberto, I've seen him and kind of sort of met him when he was on tour with Bobby Caldwell.
Yeah, he's still touring with him.
Yep, he still goes out, and unfortunately, I haven't seen. I know Andrew New also has toured with Bobby, but I didn't see him with them at that point when I went to go, the couple of times I went to go see Bobby Caldwell.
Okay, yeah, he still tours with him as well. And, Andrew does a lot of different things, but, I guess Bobby doesn't play that much, but, whenever he has a gig and, he's out with him. And, like I say, Andrew and I go way back to the 90s. We used to play in some big bands in Philly, in the Delaware area. And Andrew was always an exceptional player. Even back then, but it was big band, so you didn't really have as much of an opportunity to shine. You were part of a section and all that.
Right.
And he came to me, he told me what he wanted to do, and I've always been like, this sounds hokey, but I was always an Andrew New fan. I always thought a lot of his playing, and then, of course, of him as a person. So I said, I'll build a website for you. This is back in 99. As a friend, I said, I'll just do this for you, I said, wow, that's really nice, and it's been nice to really watch his career take off, and then, of course, he's an exceptional writer and just skilled musician, and his level of playing it just blows me away. I'm proud to be a friend of his, and I love to watch him in action. He's a great player, and I'm honored that he's on my albums and stuff. It's really nice because he didn't have to do that, and I'm thankful that he said yes. So. Actually, Andrew and I might be teaming up for a couple shows.
Okay,
cool.
Great.
Yep.
Yeah,
cool.
I asked him how he felt about that, and he's like, I'd love to. So hopefully we'll make it out to your neck of the woods sometime. But we're just gonna kind of look around the area right now. There's a lot of, Capitol Jazz Fest, Penn's Landing. They bring in great players. The Rehoboth Jazz Fest, Grand Jazz Fest, New York. So things around here. But we'll look around. Clearwater Jazz Fest. The Catalina. There's a lot of places. So
oh yeah.
we'll see what happens. You know, it's tough, but hopefully people will love to see Andrew and I play. We'll play stuff. He's got 4 or 5 albums. I have 2, so we'll just join forces, and I'll play his songs and he'll play mine, and we'll have a great old time and just entertain and perform for the audience. Is what it's all about.
Sounds like a great team. Definitely. Man.
Yeah. It does.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what. Let's go ahead and let our listeners check out
shall we start with
music. Yeah. What are you actually promoting heavy right now on this particular CD?
Walk the Walk was the first single. Paul and Jason Gorov thought that was really funky and had a good groove. So that was I'll tell my listening audience right now, that was not even my favorite song on the album. I got to give you a backstory before you play this because it's important. I sent all my music to Paul, and he's like, I don't know, too complicated, too many chords. And then, so I had a song that I wrote. It was the typical, almost like a Freddie Hubbard thing, like Mr. Clean, like you play the head and then you just jam out on it. I said, well, if I'm going to do one of them, I'll just do one of my own. So I wrote it. It didn't even have a chorus or a bridge or a hook or anything. And Paul goes, well, send it to me. I was like, no, I don't want to. And he goes, send it to me. I said, no, it's not a very good song. This is true story. I was like, I don't want to. He goes, would you just send it to me? I'm like, all right. So I sent it to him, and it was really rudimentary. It was just, it was just the beginning, melody that you hear on the album. And he goes, this might be your best song. I'm like, get out of here. And he goes, we're going to put it on the album. It'll probably be your single, too. So, Paul came in, and then, he helped me write, a bridge and, chorus or a hook or whatever. And so, he lent his composition hand. And so the song definitely grew beyond what it was. But
isn't that amazing?
That's what there it is, called Walk the Walk instead of Get On Up or Brass Attack is one of the names he wanted. And I'm like, no, Paul, we're not naming it Brass Attack, How about Blazing in the Grass? I'm like, no, we're not going to name it that. Walk the Walk.
Nice. That's cool. Okay, well, let's go ahead and let our listeners check it out. And then, of course, we'll be playing some more. And we're going to come back and talk with Rob some more. And also, join then, Mr. Ray MAC is finally joined us.
You didn't hear some of the background noise earlier.
Yeah.
Hey, Ray.
So he'll be with us here when we come back. So y'all enjoy, and we'll be right back here on the Indie Live Spot.
Keep it locked.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back, and that was some great music from our music guest, Rob Zen. And man, that was just awesome, wasn't it?
It was so good.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yes, I know these tunes.
Yeah. Now we started out with "Walk the Walk," and then we went on and rode into the next track, "Wherever You Are."
Yeah.
Andrew knew, so that was just awesome. Like I said, the whole CD is great. You know.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, it's great. I love hearing CDs when you can just put them on and just spin it and close your eyes and put your finger down. Or let's say put the needle down wherever you want, and you're not gonna be disappointed. So good job, Rob, man.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Yeah, Wanda Jazzy later, I'm sure everyone know who she is. She's like, yeah, you don't have to skip any tracks. And I thought about that, and I said, you know, I guess there are, you know, sometimes we all skip a track here and there. I was happy to hear that she didn't think we had to skip any.
Right.
She's right.
Absolutely. Okay, well, we're back, and of course, our other co-host has decided to show up.
And yes, people, he was eating.
Yeah, he was eating. Mr. Ray MAC is in the house with us now.
Yeah, finally made it.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw the comments that Will and
Henry.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know what to do about them fellas.
And then Henry with the grizzly bear speaks.
Yeah. So, but yeah, Rob. So, man, great. Like I said, I love the music, and tell us a little bit about your. Now, you have a schedule as far as your music goes. I mean, as far as playing out and things like that.
Well, you know, you probably know this, Gary. It's you know, it's a challenge.
Yeah.
It doesn't come as far as, you know, I've been talking to a lot of my friends. I went out to NAMM for the first time this year and got to meet, you know, we were friends before, but I got to meet, you know, Lynn Roundtree and Willie Bradley and Preston Smith, guys like that, you know.
Cool.
So, you know, it was really nice to connect up with them, you know, in person. And, you know, we started talking some shop and all that. And, you know, and it's a challenge for all of us, you know. And a lot of those guys have, you know, several albums out. They've been at this a lot longer than I have. My girlfriend preaches patience, you know, and so I just have to, you know, pay my dues and all that. And I did have a show with Paul Brown. He asked me to go and play with him in Chicago, and that was a lot of fun. You know, I'm not headlining it all there, and I'm just, you know, his side man for the night. You know, playing the part of Rick or Darren Ron or Michael Paolo on that particular gig.
Yeah.
And I've got a show in April with him in Richmond at the Tin Pan, and I'll be doing the same type of stuff, and which is, you know, that's great for me because it gets me exposure with, you know, with Paul, and a little bit more about the business. But you know, we're all vying for the same type of thing, and it is a business. It doesn't matter if you're a great player or an average player, if your music's great or average, whatever. It comes down to, you know, are you going to sell seats? So, you know, I'm not super aggressive when it comes to that. I just rather stick with the music side. But unfortunately, you know, you've got to put yourself out there, and you know, you get a lot of no's in this business. So, you know, I just finished my EPK, and I'm working on one with Andrew and I. As I mentioned, we're going to try to collaborate, and that's almost done. And then I expect to be sending that out to places like Scullers and, you know, the Soiled Dove and the Perfect Note and you know, the Funky Biscuit, you know, just different places like that. And hopefully they'll be willing to, you know, bring us in. You know, Andrew's certainly well known, and you know, albeit as a side man with all the, you know, with Smokey and Bobby and all those guys, and I'm still just getting started. So we'll see what they say. You know, hopefully they'll agree to bring us in. It's tough. So not too many things in the horizon, but I'm working on it. I do have a cool show at the Maryland Live Casino, which is in the Baltimore area.
Oh, cool.
Next month. They're doing jazz appreciation, so they're bringing in artists, and each Sunday it's actually a free show. You know, and we're compensated, but you know, they're offering this for their customers. So that's Sunday, April 22nd. That'll be a lot of fun.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah.
And then the following weekend, I'm with Paul at the Tin Pan in Richmond. That'll be great. And beyond that, I've got a couple things in the works. I'm playing the Lake Arbor Jazz Festival in July.
Okay.
Cool.
I have my own date there, and then I did the All-Star Jam last year, and that was so much fun.
I bet.
Because I know Gerald Visa. I'm like, hey, Gerald, man, can I come down and just play? And he's like, sure. So I went down there, and I'm on stage with like Jeanette Harris and Ken Ford Jr. and Drew Davidson and Jasmine Jen, and it was a lot. Gary was there, Gary Palmer. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And Kevin Alexander, who handles the Lake Alexander, who handles the Lake Arbor Jazz Festival, they liked my playing and they liked trumpet, so they brought me back for this year's festival, and I'm also doing the All-Star Jam the following day.
Super.
And I get to go toe-to-toe with Lynn Roundtree. It'll be really awesome. So Lynn's on that as well. So I'm like, my brother Lynn, man, we're going to do some trumpet talk. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, how cool. That is really cool.
That is too cool.
Yeah.
So, just going to keep pushing and, try to get the word out. I mean, the album is not even officially out yet. It drops April 6th.
Okay.
The single's been out a little while. So, I got to give it some time to, get some things going on and just keep working as diligently as I can and just, got to get to those yeses. You get a lot of no's, but, eventually I'll get to the yeses and hopefully, start taking this across the country. That is my plan. I'm not going to let anything stop me. I'll keep working it and working it. And, you need help in this industry.
Absolutely.
You need people to believe in you and maybe to give you an opportunity. And then you got to deliver, of course, but I'm not really that worried about that. I don't mean to sound vain, but I mean, I just need an opportunity.
Right.
So I'm ready to go. My girlfriend's like, "Are you ready? You ready?" I'm like, "I am ready for this. I'm ready to go out and play." And like I said before, Gary, it's just so much fun to play in front of people who appreciate, whatever you're bringing for that night, whether it's, your trumpet playing, your music, or the chord structure, or the feeling that they might feel. It's like, it's a beautiful thing, and it's, it's something that I really enjoy. That connection with an audience is, it's hard to put into words. You just really can't. It's just so nice. So that's what's on the horizon.
All right.
Let me ask you this. Have you got your good management teams that can help you get out there to get more gigs and more festivals and things like that?
I don't, but if you have any suggestions, let's talk offline. Yeah, not yet.
Well, like Jeanette, I know she's playing quite a bit. She's out there quite a bit.
Oh, I know. No, we should definitely talk. No, I've reached out to a couple, and it has, I'm an honest guy. I'm going to say it like it is. I don't know, for whatever reason, maybe it's because I'm not well known enough, or I'm not truly national enough, or whatever it may be. They haven't really embraced me, and I'm not going to sit back and try to convince anyone who doesn't want to, believe in me. I'm not going to try to convince them to believe in me. They either believe in me as a person and an artist, or they don't. And I'm not going to try to say, well, you should manage me or book me or whatever. I think it eventually happen, and that's something that is missing right now, and I am looking for it aggressively. It's an area that I'm probably weakest at personally, is that business side of the management. Let me concentrate on the music and the performance and my look and my brand.
Right.
But let someone else handle that business side, and I'm ready for it. So, but no, nothing right now. It's me.
Yeah. Yeah. And like
that's.
And I need help.
Well, sometimes that does make it kind of hard, for you trying to do it all, perform, manage yourself, and do this and do that, and you get bogged down into it.
Absolutely.
So it's hard. It's just hard to do it all for yourself. But the main thing is that I look at it, learn the business, and that's going to help you a long ways.
It does help, yeah. You're right. You don't want, even if you have other people helping you in certain aspects of the business, it's smart to have a good understanding of it. Whether you focus on it or not, but you do need to be aware of it and have do your diligence around that. I mean, there's been so many avenues that I had to be concerned about. Even things like licensing and publishing and songwriting. Sound exchange, CD Baby. It just goes on and on. All that stuff. That's just one aspect. I don't know that people understand fully what it takes to create an album.
It's a lot.
And all the things involved in the promotion of the album, and the connections that you make with people like a Sandy Shore, Smooth Jazz Global, and the Gorovs down there, the Gorov Marketing, and then and people like you guys. I mean, there's a huge infrastructure that I didn't know about 3 years ago that I'm and that I now many of these people I call my friends, and it's really rewarding, and it's been a lot of fun. It's been an amazing journey. That's why I wanted to call it Journey of the Heart, but it's an amazing journey, and hopefully we'll continue, and I can start to play some places and truly get my music out. That is the goal. And yeah, Jeanette's doing great. Danny Hughes, he's got all kinds of stuff going on. A lot of guys. Willie's, it's I'm not ready for the Boney or Brian Culbertson circuit yet, but there's a lot of places that if they're willing to take a chance on me, and I'm ready and willing. So
like I said, I don't see any problem. I think just as long as you stay persistent, it'll all happen for you, man. Because and you're right, it is hard because when you're trying to do everything yourself, and like you said, your main focus is try to concentrate on the music and everything, but it'd be nice to
make sure it's good quality before you put it out there.
But it's a lot of work.
That's a lot of things to be juggling at the same time.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it.
The journey of love, though. Anyone who's in music understands why we do this as musicians. It's I'm sure there's some that want to be rich and famous, or but I mean, of course, if that happens, sure,
right,
that'd be fine. But that's certainly not my motivation, reason for doing this, at all. It's just something I have to try to do before. I performed many times. I was in a band and we opened up for Tower of Power, and I've opened up for Average White Band and Kool and the Gang, and that was really fun experience and all that. I would love to open for Boney James or Brian Culbertson or any of those cats. That'd be fun. Hey, call me.
You just think about it. If you open up for some of these cats and things like that, I can't see why they don't try to help you along in this career. In this career.
Yeah, that's a great point.
And I just said that they don't want to help you. You can open up for them all day long, but they ain't trying to help you.
And it's funny because I can't speak whether that's true or not true. I'll take your word on it. But one thing I do know, we all started in the same place. We all started, no one started at the top, Well, Paul Brown produced Boney's first 10 albums, and, help with his name and different things. I mean, everyone starts at the same spot, and, and wherever they end up, and I've said this to my friends, and I'll say it on air right now, wherever my career goes, I'm going to think back to this moment in time and even a year ago, and if I can help someone, I will do it, and you guys can hold me accountable to that, because I think it's really important to give something back. Yeah. And I'm not saying these guys aren't. I'm not saying that because I don't know. My interactions with Gerald Veasley, Gerald's been very kind to me and very helpful to me, It's he played on my first album, and he didn't have to help me, and and he did. He allowed me to do some things, and and I had to prove myself. Luckily, I didn't stink up the joint, and then allows me to do some other things. But you got to deliver when you have the opportunities. But we all need that opportunity. Everyone needed that.
Right.
Sometimes you just got to work, and there's no easy path to success at all in any music genre. You got to pay your dues, and you got to pay your time, and it's just. But you do need people to help you. You need some doors opened.
That's right.
You need some opportunities. Some people to take a chance. And it's tough, you guys. I don't know if people out there realize, but there's a lot of amazing artists out there that are kind of the ones that play a lot of the festivals, and people demand to see them. They want to see Huge Groove. They want to see Peter White, and these guys have earned it. Boney James. I mean, they're the top. I love those guys. I see them too. So how do I'm not out to dethrone any of those guys. Nor do I have that aspiration or reality of it. But there's room for others. I think And so, people, these festival producers, if they give us an opportunity, there's a lot of up and coming talent. You guys mentioned some on the show. Music's being played. There's a lot of great up and coming talent coming in. We need opportunities. Yeah. So hopefully we'll get them. And I see it happening. Jasmine Gent's a great example of it. Her career, Lindsay Webster. 3 years ago, they weren't known. And I'm not saying anything that they probably wouldn't say themselves. And look at where they are now. It's great to see these young new artists, taking off and like playing some amazing festivals and creating amazing music. It's inspiring to me as an artist. And I see that they can do it. It's like, well, maybe I can too. Just put the hard work in.
Absolutely.
Well,
see what happens.
That's really no doubt. That as you were saying that, just think about Jeanette Harris. I remember when she was first interviewed on GHP.
Okay.
Now look at her.
Yeah.
Bam.
Yeah, she can bring it too. I worked with her last summer. Boy, she commands that stage. She can play. Yeah. It's great.
She does have some energy, that's for sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
very true.
Go ahead, G.
No, I was just gonna say I'm about ready to go into another.
Yeah, another set. Yeah.
Another selection.
Alrighty.
So, well, Grizz, I'll let you pick this time since what do you feel like?
Okay. As much, I do love the whole CD, this walk the walk, but I still want to hear one from your Yesterday Again.
Sure.
I've got to hear Close Your Eyes, and that way you can tell a story about how that came about.
Okay. What was the title again?
Close Your Eyes, the one that we always play here on GHP.
Oh, okay, yeah. Absolutely. All right.
That way he can tell the story on how this came about.
Okay. Well, want to go ahead and give us some talk on that, and I'll get it ready for us.
All right. About 3 years ago, when I had this foolish idea or crazy idea to do what I'm right in the middle of doing right now, I called Andrew and I called two other friends, and one of my high school friends, his name is Steve Hopkins, and he went on to fame and glory as a producer out in California, and he's toured the world with all these artists, and but he got out of touring because you're all on the road all the time, and so he got into producing, and his music is being played all day long on it's the music behind the Lexus commercial, or Toyota, or Sons of Anarchy, or General Hospital. He co-wrote that theme, so his music's being played 60 Minutes, Nightline, all these different things.
Cool.
Wow.
So he's done really, really well, and he's pretty well connected out there. He knows like everyone. So I called him and said, what do I need to do? And he told me a lot about the business, but he goes, hey, I've got songs, would you be interested in recording some of them? I'm like, since I had never written anything, I'm like, sure, Steve, send them my way. And he sent this song called Close Your Eyes, and I immediately loved it and started to think like, well, it's okay to have that kind of song on the album. I don't need to define my sound just yet, because I hadn't written a single thing at that moment in time. So he gave me that song, and we stripped it down, and then he kind of made it more up to date. But Steve knows how to use Pro Tools, and most of it was programming, and he had a couple the vocalists obviously are live, and a guitar player and stuff. And I really love the song. So he came back to Delaware, and we recorded the trumpet part in a studio here, and then he took it back, and it's something about that song to this day. Like even my kids who were 25 and 27, they're like, Dad, that's pretty cool. It's like EDM, dance club stuff. I'm like, yeah, it is. Yeah. Their friends like it, but something about that song, the vibe, and how it kind of takes you on an emotional journey. It starts out soft, and then that techno bass kicks in and something, and then it comes back down. And Steve Hopkins, he's a master at layers, of all these little subtle sounds, and I just thought it was really cool. So I'm actually really glad you like that song. It doesn't get as much love as other songs, but I'm a huge fan of it, but it is different. It's
I like it too.
More
I like it too.
Electronic dance music. So
yeah, it's laid out.
I love it.
It's laid out very well. Okay. All right, listeners, well, get ready. I want y'all to hear this.
Get ready to dance, peeps.
And, and we'll be back.
Get your dance moves going. Don't forget to keep it locked.
She's mine. She's mine. She's mine. She's mine. She's mine, yesterday love. She's mine, yesterday love. She's mine, yesterday love. She's mine, yesterday love. The day you're mine. Yesterday love. Yesterday love. Yesterday love. Yesterday love.
All right, we are back, and wow, that was awesome right there. I love that.
Awesome.
It was called "Yesterday Love," and before that, we actually played "Journey of the Heart," and then we kicked it off with a release that he had on his previous album. Was it previous album or was it just a single? The
previous album,
Close Your Eyes, on the Close Your Eyes, So. All just great tracks. Everything we've heard today, it's been just awesome. So,
yes,
good job, man.
And then before we go any further, real quick, Rob, one of the gang in the chat room said that Wanda Jazz Lady is listening. She's tuned in,
Wanda,
so that way I can say hello to her.
How you doing, honey? She is the probably the largest contemporary smooth jazz fan in the world. She's amazing.
Yes, she is.
I mean, beyond supportive of us artists.
Mm-hmm.
She's incredible. So I've seen her in a number of shows, and she does a lot for us. So thank you very much.
Yes, hello, Wanda.
She's probably smiling. She knows. I tell her that all the time. She's awesome.
Yay, yeah, Wanda, definitely.
Yeah, Wanda.
Love it.
You totally rock.
Definitely. Oh, and that's also earlier when we were talking with you, Rob. You were mentioning that you got a chance to go to the NAMM this past year, and network with some friends and stuff. Was that your first time being at NAMM? Because I had never been yet. I've been wanting to go.
It was my first time. Going back a little bit of educate people a little bit about this business. As my album came out and getting ready for the second album, we all want to be perceived. Well, that's not the wrong word, but I started reaching out to various products that I currently use to see if they would be interested in endorsing me. Preston Smith is actually a master at that, so he was kind of helping me out when I was at NAMM. Yeah. So I reached out to Joe Rao for Harmon Mutes, and my AMT for my microphone, and all these different things that I currently use today, Schilke mouthpieces and all that stuff.
Yes.
And I pretty much got blown off by all of them except one. So I was looking for a particular type of trumpet, and I wanted a certain look and a certain sound just for my jazz gigs. So I found this trumpet online. It was called Phaeton. Never heard of it. I'm like, what's this Phaeton brand out of Illinois? Didn't know them at all. Didn't know the brand. So I found out that there was a guy in Maryland who had Phaeton trumpets. So
oh wow, that's close to you too.
Yeah, it was very close. We met up, and they were so generous. They, actually called Preston, because Preston uses it, and so Preston and I chatted, and he's like, "Yeah, it's a great horn," and that's how I first met Preston online and stuff. So he's like, "Yeah, great horn, you'll love it." So I was able to find this manufacturer, and I got a hold of the horn, and they let me hold on to it for a while. And I love the look of it. It's a really cool looking horn, which is actually really important when you perform. It's not just, what people hear, but, they want to be entertained with their eyes. And part of that is a really cool looking trumpet. But I needed more than that. I needed a horn that sounded great. So it fulfilled both of that. It looked awesome and it sounded great. Nice, warm, beautiful tone for jazz. So once I decided that was the horn I wanted, I reached out to them. Hey, would you guys consider, endorsing me? And amazingly so, they said yes.
All right.
I was really excited.
Definitely.
So, they said yes. So I sent them some pictures, and and time went on, and they eventually added me to their website. So I'd never met Peter LaPlaca, who's like the president of Phaeton trumpets, and as well as LA Sax Dakota, which is like their sax brand, if you will.
Yeah.
Right.
So they reached out to all the artists and said, hey, would you want to, be representatives at our booth in NAMM? I'm like, yeah, because I wanted to be part of that family, more than just, in just emails alone. So I went out there, and it was, I got, like I said, I already knew Willie and Lynn and Preston, and Isaac Bird and Sam Hankins. But I got to actually meet them. So you play the music, you're at the booth and you're playing along. So I'm jamming with Willie and Preston, and I had so much fun. Dave Perico, this amazing trumpet player from Las Vegas. I had so much fun. Yes. And I got up with Dion Yates, did some stuff with him, and I had a blast. So now I'm in some of their ads that goes into magazines, and I'm on their website, and it's a true honor. But I wouldn't do that if I didn't believe in the product. The product is awesome. It sounds, it's what's being played on this particular album is all Phaeton horns, and I just think they sound very warm and inviting, and I'm happy to be part of the family. So that was my first experience at NAMM, getting to meet all these guys, and it was kind of a unique experience. People stopping by the booth. Gary, it's funny. It's like music -1. You play your music, minus the horn part, and you play along with it. Yeah. So it's kind of strange that way. There's no other people, but it was fun. And then I got up with, like I said, Willie and some other guys, and we're kind of playing, Pick Up the Pieces or What You Won't Do for Love. That's such a great time connecting with everyone, and I got to show Pete, they got to hear me live for the first time, and I guess they like me, which is always a good thing.
Right.
That's phenomenal.
That was that, yeah. It was cool. Very fun experience. I'll go back. And I ran into Brian Culbertson. I'm like, hey, Brian, how you doing? So I'm chatting with him a little bit. And,
cool.
There's Marion Meadows down there, and they're just regular guys. It's just so cool. It's like, there's Marion Meadows over there, And so I go chat with Marion for a while, and it was pretty cool. They don't know who I am. Not yet, but hopefully.
That's great.
Anyway.
Yeah, but he's pretty cool. He's pretty laid back.
Really nice guy. Very, very. I'm like, Preston, come on, go meet my new friend Marion. So I bring Preston over, and it's just cool. I mean, they're just regular people, but it's still, these guys are like, they're icons in the music industry. They've been doing it a while, so obviously I look up to them. What they've. What they bring, it's a nice statement. I'm a big fan of Brian Culbertson. I think it's, his music's great. I think he's a great performer, and I kind of had it was fun. I hope someday to perform with him.
Oh yeah,
that'd be cool.
It'd be nice.
Yeah. Oh, and a message from Jan that says that Wanda said, "Hello, Rob. Can't wait to see you on April 22nd at Maryland."
Yep, like I said, a huge fan. She's awesome. It's right in her neck of the woods, and she's very sweet. And I mean, she came out to NAMM, and she's bopping around and meeting people, and this is a person who just loves, not just goes way beyond just loving music, but like supporting. She has a thing she does on Sundays where she buys everyone's CD, I think, in the world. It's just a scene, and then she takes all these cute little pictures, and then she plays them, and she always posts that on Sundays, and it's really adorable. And I think it was me a couple weeks ago, and then it was Greg Adams with his latest one, and then it was Adam Hawley just last Sunday. I don't know who it'll be tomorrow, but I mean, she's just, a huge fan, and we need more people like her, and so I'll see her in a couple weeks.
No doubt, definitely. Well, this is awesome. Okay, so before we get to close to our time, why don't you give our listeners out there your website information and how they can actually follow you and stuff, so that way they can,
and to buy your music too.
Yeah, more importantly to that as well.
I would be happy to do that. One of the great things about having a unique name like I have is there's not that many of them, especially in the music world. Like, I'm the only Rob Zinn. So when I started this, I couldn't get that domain name, and there was some guy in Florida who had it, so it took me a while. And it's just funny because he gave up his domain name to me, which is robzinn.com, and I gave him my CD. He's like, yeah, just send me a CD. We love music. So
cool.
He's like Fort Lauderdale area or something.
Right.
So he wasn't, because I really wanted robzinn.com, so that's what it is. And on Facebook I'm Rob Zinn Music, on Twitter I'm Rob Zinn Music. But if you my website is kind of the jumping off point to all the other things. I recently got an Instagram account, and you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and on YouTube. I have a YouTube channel, but you can get to all of those from robzinn.com. It's along the top, and you just click on it. It takes you to the various places, and it's all important. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, for the ones who don't know, make sure you put 2 N's, not just one.
Yeah, because I put that in the chat room. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I know it. Hey, you know what? Peter LaPlaca of Phaeton did that. You go out there and it says who's performing at the various hours, and it was ROBZIN. I'm like, Peter, you're kidding me, right? Like, I'm taking a picture of it and posting it on social media. It's like, except for the last N, I'm proud to be here. And he was like, he knew it, but they were all printed up, and he's like, I'm so sorry, Rob. Like, look, no worries, man. But I'm gonna make you struggle a little bit. I'm gonna make you feel. ZINN is correct. Yeah.
Yes. I just request you as a friend of mine, Rob. But I see 2 other Rob Zims in here too.
Really?
Yeah.
Who are they?
One, he's a brother. He got a full beard, and the other Rob Zim, he's self-employed. And
Rob Zinn Music.
Well, you right in the middle, Rob Zinn Music.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, but these other 2 is right below you. One's right at the top of you, and the other one is below you.
Where you see?
All right, yeah.
Rob Zinn.
What's in the middle?
ZIN, yep.
Mm.
Yeah, that stuff's important. The social media. It takes some time. You got to cultivate things. You guys know. As well as I do. I'm preaching to the choir here. You have to have that social online presence, and websites and tweeting and Instagram and all that different stuff, and building a following, and it's more than just practicing your trumpet and becoming adept in writing songs and performing. There's a whole other business side, and I enjoy it. It can be exhausting because there's a lot to it, and there's many more things that you got to do, and it takes time. It's important, and we all go through it as artists, but also what you guys do, again, I'll say it on air, what you guys do is very important. You put together this really beautiful graphic advertising this show, and you put it out to, your people, and you send it to me, and I share it with my people, and I tweet it. That's what we all have to do for each other, about awareness, we all need each other. It's really important. So again, thank you so much for having me on the show, and believing in me as an artist and a person, to showcase my music on your show. I'm very grateful for that, and I mean these words, it's not just lip service, it means a lot to me. I was very excited. I've only done 1 or 2 of these, and it means a lot to me. So thank you again, for having me on, and, if just a few more people get to hear the music, then that's a few more people that that weren't fans of mine before, and I enjoy sharing the stories. Grizz, you had asked about Yesterday Love. I got to tell you what happened in that song. The vocalist is Dax Reynosa, and Lou Lang wrote it. Lou writes a lot of songs. He works with a lot of artists out there. He's a California guy, a terrific human being. I got a chance to meet him out there, and his music's just so solid. So when I heard that song, I sent it back to Paul, and I said, I really, really love the vibe of the song, but I would want to play the melody part, so we'd have to dump the lead vocal. And Paul's like, I don't know, Dax, I don't think he's going to go for that. I said, well, just ask him. So Paul went back and he muted the vocal and he added some guitar part, and he goes, "Oh my God, this is dope, man! This is killer. You gotta do it." And I was like, "Well, that's what I was saying, Paul. I would play the lead line, but don't get rid of all those beautiful, lush background vocals. Keep them in the mix." He goes, "All right." So he goes, "I'll make sure that he goes for it. He could still release it as his vocal because he's got a beautiful vocal chops. He actually sounded a little bit like Michael Jackson, like beautiful, pure, higher pitched vocalist. But that's Dax Reynosa, yeah." So Paul got him to agree to let me record it and do my own version. So we honored, the melodic choices that Dax had made. We just did them on trumpet, and I think it's pretty cool. It's pretty edgy. It's pretty different, you know. I don't know. It's contemporary jazz. I don't know how smooth it is, but it's fun to have songs like that. You know, you don't want to be predictable. I don't think, and I don't think the album's too predictable. And with a song like that on it, it was, you know. And he also wrote a song called 11th Hour, which I named 11th Hour because he sent it to us the day before our recording studio.
On the 11th hour.
Yeah, we literally got that. Paul's like, "Hey, do you like this?" I'm like, "Yeah, let's do that." We went in the studio the next day, and we didn't even have a melody for it. The guys just played it, and then I went back and we wrote a melody to it. So it was pretty cool. But since it came in at the last minute, I said, "Well, it's 11th Hour." So that's how that song. But that was written by Lou Lang as well. I mean, just really tasty and kind of very progressive. New agey, jazzy, vibey. It's what is it, track, I don't know, 9 or 10 on the album, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Track 9. It's pretty cool. I'm not as happy as my performance on that. I wish my performance was a little better, but it was really, I mean, literally we cut that track in 24 hours. It was pretty fast.
Intense, yeah.
So we kept some of the programming elements that Lou had given us, like that little I don't know. It was, but the guys, you know, put their magic on it. It was pretty cool. Amazing studio musicians, you know, just wow. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. So there you go.
Cool. Well, you know, now that you said that, I want to go ahead and play that track real quick.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
11th hour. On our 11th hour.
We got just a little time.
Let me just say one thing though, because Wanda's in the audience. Her favorite song is track 7, I Can See It in Your Eyes.
Oh, okay.
So maybe if Wanda's still on, maybe we can play that for her. If you don't, I'm not
still listening.
I'm not trying to hijack your station, your choice, but
please.
Because I asked her, I'm like, "What's your favorite song?" She goes, "That one," and it's very Rick Boney-esque. It's got Paul Brown's signature production all over, and it's a cool song.
Cool.
It's
a cool song, you know.
Okay. Well,
so I don't know. You don't have to, but I know that she's listening, so it's
no. We'll do that. That's great, man. I was just kind of.
You want to play that one first?
Yeah, I'm gonna do that one first.
Okay.
And then we'll do that, and then we'll come back and we'll wrap it up after that. So, listeners, get ready and check it out, and we'll be right back right here on the Indie Live Spot.
music was just kind of quirky, but some of it was just like, wow.
Yep.
And like that one.
Okay, well we're back, and in fact, you just got through hearing no, could it be you? And before that, you heard 11th Hour, and then we also played I Can See It in Your Eyes, Wanda's favorite. And
yes, back to Wanda.
Yeah, and of course it's like oh wow, it's like 48 minutes past the hour, so we're almost winding down to time to get out of here, but we still got just a few more minutes. So so I just want to say to Rob, we really do appreciate you, man, and appreciate your music, and glad you were able to come on to the show today and
yes,
share with us today.
Yes.
So
truly an honor. Thank you so much. From the bottom of my heart, I appreciate you asking me to be on today, and I've had a great time, and thank you so much.
Good, man. You're welcome back anytime, man. Anytime. We're gonna definitely always support your music as well. So,
cool. Thank you.
For sure. And let's see. Grizz, did you have something? You said you was wanting to...
What was I going to say? I don't even remember anything.
Oh, okay.
I'm just like, I was basically agreeing with what you were saying. I was like, yeah, absolutely. Ditto what G said, as far as, that we'll support your music. And at any time, you just, let us know that you want to come and hang out and with us. Hey, we'll welcome you in anytime.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. I might just take you up on that. Thanks.
Definitely.
You're welcome. Yes, please do. And just a reminder, people, remember to go to his website, robzen.com,
yes.
and that way you can see his story, his music, and his upcoming gigs, so that way you can kind of keep up with him and see what he's up to.
Yeah, and also check out the video, because I'm going to check it out too as soon as
so am I. As soon as we get off the air.
Yeah, I want to see this video, man. Very cool. And so, is that the only one you did off of the CD?
Yes, it was. The first CD we did, the Yesterday Again video, I shot that in Florida, and I coaxed my son and my girlfriend to be in that video, and it's, if you haven't seen that one, you got to check it out. It was a lot of fun. It's kind of Yesterday Again,
Yeah.
My son, I don't know, he had a fun time, and I hired a model to kind of play the younger me.
Okay.
My son Kyle played the younger me, and the model played like the younger of my girlfriend Tracy.
Cool.
So it kind of goes back and forth. It's like, well, which is the current time, and which, it's kind of like a time lapse. You'll get an idea. You've probably seen the video, but I had a lot of fun filming that. We filmed on location in Florida.
Cool.
That was great. And the second one is hopefully to try to get people to know me, who I am a little bit more. It's not, I'm doing some stuff in Paul's studio, and in the other studio I shot in. We shot filming there and out shopping and walking down the street and in Paul's backyard. And I had a lot of fun. It's really kind of get to know me a little bit more as a person, not just an artist. So that was the attempt of that. And then Paul's son Alex shot the video, and he did a marvelous job with it. I think it's really good. I was really happy with it.
Cool.
So you get to see sort of a different side of me. We had fun doing it. It was good.
Yeah. Remember I just said earlier, set up a live one in a club environment. Set up that one so they can actually see you playing with the audience.
Yep, great ideas. We'll have to definitely talk for sure. Yeah, great ideas.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, before we wrap up, man, is there anything else you'd like to get out as far as anything, whatever? If you got any upcoming things going on, or would you like your listeners to know, or what have you? Or just shout outs or whatever. It's all you.
No, I've said pretty much everything. Okay. If you like my music, download the songs, buy the CD, but come out to a show. And if you're not even a fan of mine, always support live music, because if you don't support live music, it goes away. And those people who are my generation, it's a totally different landscape out there. And Wanda knows, she's a huge supporter of live music, and probably a lot of the people in the chat room right now and the listeners. we enjoy. We want to play to hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people, but whether there's 10 people out there or 1,000, the kind of show you'll get from me will be the same, because I'm just joy to be on stage performing with my guys, and music is just that's a privilege right there, and the fact that people will be out there, whether they're paying money or whether it's for free. Right. It's an honor to be able to do that for people, and I'm blessed that I've was born with this ability to do this, and I have cultivated it, but I feel very lucky to be able to do what I do right now. Mm-hmm. And I certainly enjoy sharing that with people. So, support live music, mine or anyone else's, in the genre. And it's, I'm very thankful for that. And again, as I said many times, thank you all, Ray, Gary, Griselda. I really appreciate what you guys do for us artists. So, keep doing that. And, I'm very grateful for it. So, thank you all very much, and like my website, like my Facebook page, and follow me on Twitter if you want. I don't tweet a whole lot, but I usually just kind of put stuff out there that's important to an upcoming show. Yeah. I do have a show coming up with Paul Brown in Richmond. That'll be fun, playing Paul's music. Paul's masterful. If you've never seen Paul perform, you got to come and see him perform. He's really a pro, and he's just so, oh my God, Paul's so tasty. Yeah. Just an incredible musician and a great human being. And, I'll be at Maryland Live Casino, and that's actually a free show. It's Appreciation Month, so they're giving back to all their their customers and all that. That's April 22nd. But you can get all that information at the website. So thank you all. Thank you all.
Well, thank you. Thank you again. And listeners, you heard that. Y'all definitely check it out and support. And for those out in in that area out there near Maryland and the surrounding areas, be sure to go out and support and check him out as well. Okay, well, another great show again, and we really do want to thank Rob for hanging out with us today. And next week we do have Groove Frequencies.
John,
it's going to return. John, of course, we were supposed to have him scheduled for last week, and then we had some technical issues, which was unfortunate, at the time. But everything is worked out, and so look for that next Saturday. We'll be having him on the show as well. And then I just wish everybody a happy Easter and happy, or whatever you got going on this weekend, and enjoy the weekend, of course, and just join us back here again next week for more. And with that said, I'll just pass it over to Grizz and Ray so they can say bye-bye.
Okay. Go ahead, Ray.
I know she's waiting on me now. She's the boss.
That's right.
No, I don't think so.
Well, you're not the boss, that's for sure.
Well, it's okay. I'm cool. I'll still do the thing. Hey, Rob, it's good to have you on the show and everything. And I will be talking to you soon to give you some more ideas of how you can get yourself more so out there with your music and things like that. But everybody enjoy your weekend. See y'all next week.
Thank you.
Yes. Rob, so glad that we got to meet you and we got to chat with you today. Thank you for giving us your time today. So we appreciate that.
Believe me, my pleasure. It was a lot of fun, and I was really looking forward to this. So a little nervous because I wasn't sure what you're going to ask and what I would say. But it's when it's not, you don't have to rehearse talking about your music or yourself. I mean, it should come naturally and all that. And it did so. But I want to make sure I didn't say anything stupid.
Nope, you did not.
No, you're fine. You did.
I don't know what you was afraid of. Gonna be nervous.
I don't know. I overthink things. My girlfriend's like, you gotta stop thinking about all those stuff. Like, it's part of what, as a project manager,
part of your DNA.
Contingencies, plans. What happens if this goes wrong as part of my day job? After all the years I've done.
Well, I'm telling you, see, you already. You totally wired for that.
Want to play music and
totally wired.
Yeah. Anyway.
Man, it's time to chill, baby. It's time to chill.
It's Saturday. I have no gig. I had a gig last night and a gig tomorrow, and tonight I'm just going to go and spend some time with my girlfriend because when you're in a relationship and you're a musician, it can be challenging, and we try to find our time and. You know, she tried to come to some shows, but, you know, it's not always possible, and it's not always fun for her because I'm on stage working and she's in the audience. But she's going to come to Paul's show in Richmond, which is really cool. So she gets to meet Paul.
Oh, good.
And see the show. And, you know, that'll be – and I have some high school friends who are going to show up at that because they're in the area. So that'll be really cool.
Oh, yeah.
Man, what are you crying about? What are you crying about? You're working, man. Most of them ain't working. You should.
Yeah, I got a couple. So.
Lord, give me strength.
Yeah, you guys want to help me out? I'm all open for it, you know. And let me put you on the spot, you know. But you know how challenging this is, and I don't know. It sounds quirky, but I believe in karma. I think if you do the right thing and you try to treat people the right way, and be humble and honest and just be truthful and all that, I think good stuff comes back to you.
It
So
does.
I try to not ever be a jerk to someone because you just never know. You know, if I'm ever lucky enough, I think so. If I'm ever lucky enough to become more successful, you know, I will try to help people. You know, whether it's lending my name or to a song. I've done that a few times already, and I'm flattered and honored. You know, they asked me to perform on their album. You know, and hopefully that continues.
Yeah.
You know, if I can give a boost, but there's some people who won't do that, and you know, I encountered that recently. Like they quoted a really high price. You know, basically it's like they don't want to do it, so they're going to create this really high price. And if I'm stupid enough to say yes, then they'll be on it. But that wasn't cool. That wasn't cool.
Yeah.
Remember their humble beginnings. You know, we all started the same place. Every one of us. You know, and we all need help. So
well, they call that play to play.
Yep.
Play to pay. You got to pay them to play. That's crazy. Yeah,
well, you know, hopefully I won't be that person. You know, that I will always be try to be generous and magnanimous and help people as best that I can. You know, but hopefully not to be taken advantage of either. But you know, we all need help along the way. Every one of us. And when you
absolutely.
So we'll see. But anyway, it's been a lot of fun and very real. So enjoy the rest of your days, everyone. The day, and have a safe, happy weekend. And again, thank you so much. You know, I had a great time.
Give me a buzz.
I will. I definitely will. Not today, but I definitely will.
Yeah,
I'll wait till Monday or something. I will. I'll look forward to that connection. So, although I can't see your face, you know, you've been this little. It's a pink
little circle.
Yeah, a little circle. It's pink on the outside, Ray. But for a moment, I saw you. I think I saw you for a moment. But yeah, I will call you for sure. I appreciate you making that offer. So yeah, I will. All right. So
okay.
How do I close this down? Will you close it down on your end? Do I need to do something here?
No, hold on. I still haven't finished my goodbye yet.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, and I just got another message saying that Wanda just wants to tell you how she appreciates your music. Just to let you know.
Thank you. Yeah, she's she's a big fan. You know.
Yeah.
So,
all right, my peeps. Like as I was saying, just want to thank you again, Rob, for being here with us. And chat room gang, thank you for joining us today and for making it fun as always. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And to our listeners, thank you for joining in, and want to wish you a happy Easter. Be safe out there, and we will see you next week.
Okay. All right. We'll see you next week, folks. Y'all have a great weekend.
Ciao. Hold on.
Wait.
We on there?
Wait.
Oh shit.
No, we weren't on, but as I was talking to y'all towards the end, I was hitting this one button and then somehow I accidentally
It's live now. We're live again.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Somehow the thing is
Came back on.
here.
Oh shit.
I'm trying to stop it again. It won't stay off.